Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our review of The Bachelorette Episode 2, or as it is now called, The Inquisition. Karl, I'm just going to say it right off the start. Karl sucks. I am not a fan of Karl. Karl needs to leave.
Listen, Karl should have been kicked right away. He plants, the Vegas seed.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not going to tell you who it is. Oh, I'm not going to tell you what was said. I'm not even going to give you an example of what was said.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It must just be the environment that it's in, why Katie just didn't look at that situation and was straight up like, you don't actually have any information. No name. Not what was said. No example. Bye-bye.
I don't get it. I don't understand it. We're going to talk about Karl. We have to talk about Karl, unfortunately.
Yep.
We will talk about good moments, happy moments. We had fun songs. We had a puppet show. We had producer manipulation up the wazoo.
We also had Greg and Katie. I'm
Greg.
on it. You know what? They're soulmates, and you can't tell me different.
Welcome to Club Greg. The drinks are great.
It's nice to be here.
Thank you. The barbecue is nice and warm, but
soulmates. 10 out of 10. This relationship already.
We have so much to talk about besides just our undying love for Greg, apparently. But if you guys are joining us on this journey, hit that subscribe button. We are over 50,000 now. Thank you guys very, very much for that.
Thank you. And also, we're going to be covering Handmaid's Tale finale. That's coming up tomorrow. So if you're watching that, we're also watching that. There's a lot of good stuff that's coming up. Blacklist on Wednesday. It's moved from Fridays. It's on Wednesday, so it's going to be on Wednesday. And then we'll also have a preview for the Blacklist finale coming up on Friday.
So a lot of finales, a lot of big things happening. And then there is Karl, who is happening.
All right. So clearly, Karl is just there for the wrong reasons. He is there to stir the pot. That whole conversation, even with everyone afterwards, was just kind of everyone is like, what is it? Who is it? Give an example. Give us anything. Give us a name. You know who you are. No, nobody knows what you're talking about because there's nothing happening except maybe Hunter. We saw later in the preview where he was kind of like, I could be the next Bachelor. And I was like, ooh, that's not good.
Never, once again, don't say the quiet part out loud, people. It's like a lot of you guys want to be the next Bachelor. We all know this. We all know you guys want to be famous. If you didn't want to be famous,
you'd find love away from the show.
Yeah, you'd go on Tinder or something. I don't know. But the thing,
is that where you go for love?
Apparently, I don't know. But this is the weirdest show and the weirdest episode that we've seen through two episodes. That's really hardly a lot.
I will say this. Okay, so if you guys have been around this channel for a while watching our Bachelor and Bachelorette stuff, then you already know that I'm not a fan of the dates where people have to punch each other for love or wrestle each other for love or smack each other for love. Fill in any violent thing here for love. I've never liked these dates. Ever. And I didn't like it here either. Straight up, they're waking everybody up. They all have to come out of their rooms in their underwear for no reason because then they all get to go back and put on jeans. I'm just like, what? What is happening? You can put your pants on and you don't have to punch each other.
Like I said, weird. There's no rhyme or reason to any of this.
Every season.
Yeah.
No pants punching each other.
Yeah, no pants punching each other. You guys gotta go out. You gotta go out in the mud now, which I imagine there's some poor production staffer who is out there with a water hose. It's there's no mud in dry New Mexico just lying around.
Yep.
And then you have Katie and Tayshia and Caitlin are wearing I guess this is their version of the all denim ensemble.
It is very cute.
All of this was just unusual to me.
I still really like Tayshia and Caitlin being on this season. I liked it in the premiere. It is still moving along in the way that I had hoped that it would, where it sort of felt like Katie and her two friends, and it just has this really nice, genuine feel to it. I really like it.
I wasn't sure how I was going to feel entering this episode, mostly just because not so much that I thought Chris Harrison was doing some irreplaceable job or anything. He just really just says it's the final rose and leaves, but it's just you are taking people who have been a part of like the process Bachelor Nation, where
Process for all the Canadians out there.
process, tomato, you know, but they had been through like the non-production part of it, and they're shifting over to this other gear. But no, I think they have done a pretty good job. I enjoyed some of their back and forth tonight. I enjoy that they're sort of like there as like the spies when they're saying, oh, what is going on with Aaron and Cody here.
I also really liked seeing that Katie sort of took a page out of Tayshia's book. And the thing that I liked about Tayshia, why Tayshia's like my all-time favorite Bachelorette. I really like her and I loved her season. And one of the things that she did really well that I saw Katie do tonight was on the group date, take the rose and then point out a couple of things that she really liked about her time with a bunch of the guys before giving out the rose. I thought that was a really cool thing that Tayshia had done, and I hadn't seen that before her.
Okay, I'm gonna introduce something now, as though we are producers of The Bachelorette. That should be implemented in all future seasons. Anytime there is a contestant with a kind of strange job title, there needs to be like an air horn or something that goes off, or like an actual red flag needs to be waved here. Okay, because listen, Cody, who got booted because he was quote unquote here for the wrong reasons, his job description was like zipper salesman or something. And
I think the RV guy was like a skin salesman or something like that.
And then it was Karl was like motivational speaker. And it is just sort of like, who are you motivating, Karl?
This is going to be a tough one for Karl, because if this is Karl's job away from the show, he is getting the straight up villain edit now. I legit do not understand why he decided to do that, except maybe he saw that Aaron was able to get rid of Cody by planting a seed, except that Aaron had more information for Katie and he had more of a relationship with Katie, and then when she actually went to go talk to Cody gave nothing. So I completely understand why she was like, all right, Cody gotta go. But then we're in this situation now where it's like Karl's being very vague about things, like very vague. We've seen people over the years go and tell the leads all kinds of stuff, but I've never seen anything this thin before that they've gone to share. So if he's a motivational speaker and this is what he's doing on the show, and we all know that there's the editing magic to get a villain every season, we don't know anything really about Karl except what they're showing. I imagine he's not going to be that happy after this, watching it all air out like this.
It felt almost like Karl was like, you know how I'm going to motivate here? I'm going to motivate Katie to get rid of some more guys immediately.
Yes.
I'm going to motivate her to be upset. And
I just watched it work, so now I'm going to plant this.
This is, okay, these are the villains I don't like. I enjoy the Bachelor villains who are just kind of ridiculous. Like, some people thought Bennett was a villain, and, Bennett, at least he was just like a weird, like, Andy Bernard sort of figure on this show.
He's just a strange dude.
Yeah, I don't like the guys who just come across, and like you said, it could be editing, but it just comes across as manipulative. Like, it just comes across as, I'm going to get what I want to sort of produce a reaction. I am trying to take control of this situation.
That's what the edit feels like. He just watched Aaron get Cody out on his word, and now Karl was like, okay, we can just get rid of guys like this? Cool. Then I'm going to bring up this really weird nothing burger and feed it to Katie. That's why I was really surprised by her reaction. She even said it herself. He wouldn't give me a name. Yeah. He wouldn't give me what was said. He wouldn't give me any information. That's right, Katie. He gave you nothing. So why are you eating this burger?
Yeah. I think she's going to throw the burger away. Like, this is my prediction is that they showed a lot of Karl in that preview, but it's just for like the 10 minutes of Karl that is left before Katie throws that burger into the trash. It's like, Karl needs to go. I will be happy when he does.
Okay, well, I want to talk about someone that I'm really excited about.
Okay.
And that's Mike.
Okay.
I really like him. And we talked a little bit about him in our premiere as well, that they had brought up, he's never been with anyone. He's saving himself for marriage. And we've seen people who are in that spot before on this show. And we've seen it just in life as well, that just because Katie is more open about herself and being with people and he's not there yet, this doesn't mean that they can't work out. And I really liked the things he was saying tonight, where he was kind of like, I knew who was going to be the Bachelorette. I knew that she's very positive about being in the bedroom and stuff like that. I knew all this, and I'm still here. And I'm hoping that I accept her the way she is, and I'm completely aware of how she is, and it's A-okay the way that she is. Maybe if we have a good connection, she'll be okay with the way that I am. There are lots of people in life that go through this and make it on the other side just fine. So I was really glad when he was thrown into this totally production setup date to force him to come out as being like, I've never been with anyone before he had a chance to really tell her. That's why I was just like, good for you for putting question mark on all this stuff, and that you didn't just write out virgin.
This was so... I have so much respect for Mike after this date, because yes, this was producers. They put on those devil horns, and they were just like, we are doing some work today. And
yeah,
Mike... he was calm, he was cool, he was collected. He felt like they set him up to fail, and he just jumped right over the trap door, got to the other side, and was like, this is who I am, this is what I'm here for, I understand you are who you are, I want to get to know you, I'm interested in you. And
then later he made a joke, he made like a bedroom joke, and I'm like, okay, this guy he feels like he's a regular dude who is saving himself. There's nothing that's so far out of Katie's reach that she just would be like, no, not 100% no.
Let's talk about a couple of other guys who I really liked on this first date, because this date had the potential to be incredibly off-putting to me, because it was the let's get really down and dirty with the details date, and sometimes...
And then Trey had the puppets! I still love Trey! It was so good. I wish they had shown more of that. It was so funny.
Bachelor producers, can you put the full Trey presentation on YouTube? Trey was adorable with the puppets. I understand Connor is a musician and he's kind of got a leg up here with all of this, but he came across as very un-Jed in this, in which he felt fairly sincere. I thought his song was kind of fun and quirky and interesting.
Yeah, I thought that his song was great, and I was just like, okay, so the connection is still sort of here. And then they went and had a little bit of time on their own. And then it changed for me. I don't know what it was, but there was something about, it was like when they were first together and he's all dressed up like the cat and everything, and it was all very confident. And both of them felt very confident. And then it was like, okay, the mask is gone, now it's me. And then it felt a little more awkward, even when he was like, let's redo the kiss, because the first time I had on these cat paws. The second time wasn't any better. He grabbed both sides of her head, and it was just like, I was like, very uncomfortable to watch from home.
Yeah.
And she didn't look like she was having that great a time either, because if you really are, you're not going to just sort of try to pull away while this man is holding your head. The whole thing was kind of 0 out of 10.
I don't know with you, Connor, because it is sort of like, he seems like he's a great idea guy, because it's cat costume was fun, the song was fun, but it's like when the chips are down here, this may just not be it for you, Connor. Maybe you just need to go somewhere and write some fun jingles or do some other fun stuff that's not on The Bachelorette, because
you can go on Listen to Your Heart if they ever bring that Bachelor show back, where we were the only two people that were watching it.
Yeah.
It was so good.
But Listen to Your Heart was just a nice breath of fresh air in between all of the nonsense that we've dealt with Bachelor Nation.
It was just okay, we'll just digress here for just a second. It was just such a good show because it was very transparent that they are there for love and
Yes.
career. There was no BSing about it. It was both things. And I've always said, like, both things are fine. You
Yeah.
can be on this show for love, and you can be on this show for Instagram or music or whatever else you want to push. There's nothing wrong with that. This
Yeah.
is TV. It is part of it. But with Bachelor, they always kind of like try to hide that stuff. Oh, you're here for the wrong reasons. You're
Yeah.
here for your career. Get out. Well, listen to your heart then comes out, and it's like, yeah, I'm here for career and for love.
And this is
It
the
was
thing.
good.
It's like you said. It's okay.
Yes.
You can be there for multiple different things. And that's
Yes.
why what Karl did was so ridiculous. Because Katie already knows. She already knows people are there for other reasons. It's just like you don't need to amplify the message and start like having her freak out. Because I'm sure that when Katie was first on The Bachelor, and I really like Katie, but I'm sure she thought, oh, this will get me a little bit more of a platform, though I also do want to find love. I want to find my
Yes.
person. Like, that's okay.
Yeah, it's more than okay. But that's why it's this whole thing with Karl. We're not going to get too far into that again. But it's a bit ridiculous to sit there and sort of point out that everyone else on the show is there for the wrong reasons. You also have a job where you're a motivational speaker and you have this large platform now that you are on TV. Like, it's good for both things.
This is where I want to give Katie a little bit of applause for listening to Aaron, because usually, and we've seen this a lot in the past, when someone goes to the lead and they're like, I have some information for you.
Yep.
They usually get like the old heave-ho and they get like thrown out.
Yeah, and I love that after Karl came and was like, here's this very vague, thin seed for
Yeah.
you. What would you like to do with it? I'd like to call Aaron in here, please, because Aaron just told me the truth about something else. He'll tell me the truth about this. I thought that was really cool.
It was really cool, and Aaron bought himself a lot of stock, and I mean, I should say that Aaron didn't necessarily cite like any specific incident with Cody, but at the same time, why is Aaron gonna come on the show in episode 2 to start like dumping negative stuff about some other guy unless he has like some real concerns here?
No, and that's the thing. I mean, we didn't really get to know Cody at all. He didn't get any real screen time or anything, but that conversation that he ended up having with Katie right before she kicked him, yeah, he didn't really defend much of anything. He didn't really give any sort of examples. He wasn't even like, bring Aaron in here so Aaron will give an example, because I do not know what he's talking about. Because maybe he did know what he was talking about. Who knows?
Tinfoil hat time here.
Right.
I think Cody knew that Aaron was going to say something, and I think Aaron like metaphorically got in front of the mirror and like practiced his response to it over and over and over again.
Felt like it.
Yeah, it felt rehearsed. Let's talk about happy news now.
All right.
Do we start with Greg as we talk about the rose recipients here?
Absolutely. That date was great. It was as soon as she was talking about her dad, and then he was talking about his dad, and then the axe in the bucket, and all the jokes and all the deep stuff. Like, they are soulmates. If they don't end up together, I do not know what is going on. Like, I just can't see. There's a connection there that just, and an understanding in the most sad way, but also a deep understanding, because they both lost their fathers, that no one else is ever going to understand.
I was really surprised when Greg got the first one-on-one date right after getting the first impression rose, because it doesn't feel like that ever happens. And now, based on that first impression rose and based on everything you just said about this date, because it was one of the most like affirming and just like passionate and serious and also still personable dates I think we've ever had this early on in the show.
Yeah.
It feels like Katie's pecking order is like Greg, everyone not named Greg. I don't know what the rest of the season is now. Is it like, how can anyone catch up to Greg? It's like, when is Greg and Katie's proposal gonna happen?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like there was gonna be something there as soon as she was like, oh, he looks like my ex. Okay, so straight away, then that means that there's chemistry and that there's attraction there.
Yeah.
And now there's this, like this very deep connection that just very few people can have something like that. I think he's the one.
I would be shocked if.
And I hate saying that because I love my man Trey, but
Okay.
like I just feel like this is very real.
You know what I will say about Trey beyond the puppet show? Did you peep Trey's tux at the end of this?
I did.
11 out of 10 on the tux that Trey was wearing. Very, very dapper.
If Trey, I know we're only 2 episodes in, but if you need a bachelor, Trey can
You
be
waging
there.
the Trey for Bachelor. Is this the earliest that we have ever waged a Bachelor campaign?
Maybe. I don't know. There is Markel.
Okay, I'm also throwing Andrew S. out there. I like Andrew S. a lot.
Yeah.
He was there for Katie after a lot of the nonsense went on. I also, if we're going to talk about production manipulation here for a moment, why did you guys throw like the professional football player into the mud wrestling date? Here's what I would do if I saw that coming at me. Just walk my way right out of that ring. I ain't getting hurt. I don't care how many times you show that ambulance. I'm done.
No, that's why I can't stand these dates where it's like you need to wrestle or punch or push or hit or kick or whatever, and there's an ambulance standing by. Okay, if you know that this date can go that way, why does it have to be like this? Because then it's always somebody gets hurt. This is one of the first times somebody didn't get hurt.
I know.
Somebody gets hurt, and then the lead has to sit there with them while they have like a bag of frozen peas on their head, or they're getting stitched up, and they're like, oh, you really took a hit for me. Okay, why is it got to be like this?
Okay, I'm gonna try something out here. Okay, I'm gonna throw this out there as a suggestion. In the event any other contestant is on one of these dates, you're in the mud, you got some big dude charging at you. Here's what you do. You disarm them with comedy. You get down on the mud in the ground. You start doing the worm around in the mud. They can't grab you. And then the lead just starts laughing. And then the guy starts laughing. And then you like yank their leg and they fall over. And then you win. You are welcome.
Yeah, I would just be like, I surrender. I surrender. I'm good.
I feel like that is also what would happen with the worm, is that they would just like put their foot on my back and be like, well, that's it. See you later.
Surrender.
Okay, you know what? We just aren't meant for these sort of competitions.
No, I fully agree. I'm not having that. If I'm on this show and this lead wants me to like punch other people or get punched to be with them, like, you're not for me.
Can I sub out and go to the other date? Oh wait, that's the other date? Can I just go fishing then?
Yeah, I'll be on the fishing date where I gotta put a hole in a bucket for later.
All right. Let's just ask the people out there as we wrap this up. What would you rather do for love? Mud wrestle, get the hole in the bucket, or do whatever that other date was, which includes many things we cannot say for fear of demonetization.
That's right.
Just let us know. We have a lot of fun talking about The Bachelorette here, clearly. We're 23 minutes in.
Yeah, and we're here every Monday night. So if you love Bachelor, Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise, there's a lot of Bachelor that's going to be coming up. We're going to be here for all of it. So all of Katie's season, Bachelor in Paradise this summer, Michelle's season, whoever's the Bachelor after that, Trey,
Yeah.
I'm looking at you. We will be here for all of it. So make sure you hit that subscribe button because you don't want to miss it.
And now it's time to exit this video just like I would exit that mud wrestling ring with Andrew S. coming at me. Bye, everyone.